So today, on this episode of Coach's Corner, we got one of my good brothers in the house, Coach London. Give a little background on Coach London. He's been doing this for a while, but my introduction to this good brother came in middle school. Now, we was playing it in elementary school, but I don't know how I missed it. Maybe I can't think back that far, but I didn't know where this guy came from until middle school, right? So up until that point, I was used to, just competing fiercely, and this young man the same way. But when I met him, his spirit was just like, man, this nigga like an angel, man. But he's still coming, going hard at you. But this was the first LeBron right here, man. This nigga right here, he'll bust your ass, then he come give you a 5 and all that type of shit. I'm like, you just can't find a reason to not like this nigga, man. So, man, this nigga been my nigga since 6th grade, man.
Yes,
was in my class. I get to see this nigga every day. The nigga spirit, you feel me? The nigga heart. Man, I love this nigga, man. So that's why he here today, man. And I just want to thank you for coming and gracing us with your presence today, good brother.
Oh man, anytime, bro. Like you say, you know how we go.
Yeah.
Go back, like stopping caps and waves, man.
Yeah. So that's my introduction. I ain't gonna hold you up, good brother. You go ahead and let us know exactly who you are, what you've been doing, what program you represent therefore and forward.
All right. Hey everyone. I'm Coach London, like you say, Coach London. Been coaching, like you say, like 20 plus years. So, been doing it for a while, long time now, and coaching out, started out at Mount Royal, and coaching there at Mount Royal, Be More Lead Team, Mellow, all through the chains. Just been doing it for a long time, man. I just, I enjoy it, giving back to the community, giving back to the kids. Cause like my brother said, when we was coming up, we had coaches that coached us, and then coming out once we got older, found out they weren't even getting paid for it. They was just doing it for the love and giving back to kids in the city, and so I wound up doing the same, and been doing it. It's priceless. Like I just I love it. It's been a blessing for all these years to keep going. I see kids today, they still say, hey, Coach London, and it'd be priceless. Like, I had to coach some kids and played D1, all types, varsity, 4 years, everything, you name it, overseas. So yeah, I've been doing it for a very long time.
Yes, sir. So I know a little bit about your upbringing, but this is one thing that I find about doing this platform. There's always something that I'm learning, right? So take us through, your upbringing in West Baltimore.
Okay. Yeah, so my upbringing was, kind of like where I came from, mostly like typical neighborhood. Most of us, some had fathers around, but a lot of just, just mothers, and, we was just kids, and, growing around. So, and, I was just out there. I used to be outside, and I fell in love with the game of basketball at like 8 years old. I would see people outside. We outside playing on the crates, playing in the gym, and any rec center, it's just been doing that. So, trying to stay out of trouble and stuff, because, was older guys around our neighborhood that was doing other stuff, but they would always tell me and everybody, go ahead, keep playing basketball, So I grew on it, loved it, and been, ever since.
Okay. So you said about 8. So take us through, where or when did you first fall in love with this game?
Yep, so it was right before 8. So really I started seeing it at 7. Then once I made the team at 8, then I really, really had confidence in myself. And then back then, it wasn't no 8 and under. It was just 10 and under. So I was the youngest guy on the team playing for, Mount Royal Rec Center. So, got a little bit of time, but, not that much. But I was just happy when I got the contract and got to sign it, because I know, at seven, I didn't make it. So I came back 8 years old, made the team, the youngest guy on the team. just tried to find my way, being on the 10 and under team. And then, playing down there at Mount Royal, it was always competitive. So, I had to figure it out because, I went to elementary and middle school there, burgundy and gold all day.
Them contracts used to be everything.
Yes, it's like blue or green, remember?
Them
Yeah,
contracts used to be everything.
Yeah, everything.
You get one of them at the few practices, Ma,
yeah.
you gotta sign this, Ma.
Gotta sign it, yeah. Gotta sign it. Was happy as I don't know what when I went short.
You gotta sign this, Ma.
Yeah, for sure. They don't know about that.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, I got a pretty good idea, but who would you say would be your sensei? Your Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, work with you when you couldn't even hold your hands up?
Got you. With no questions asked, like how you said, you already know. Coach Darrell Corbin. That been my coach. He taught me the ropes, and like I say, since growing up in that gym, and he worked there, and he was just our coach. And that was another reason why I like coaching, because back then, Coach Corbin would coach 3 different age groups because it was a limit of coaches back then too. So you know what I'm saying. So he would coach in all 3 of them. So I just seeing the principles and stuff that he instilled that I was like, yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay. We're gonna turn the camera B, and we're going to take this time to pay our homage to Coach Corbett. You're gonna let him know, some of the things that he helped you with, and whatever feelings you have for him.
Yeah, Coach Corbett. Yeah, you should know, but definitely appreciate all you did coming up. Like I said, coaching us, coaching all them teams and everything, really meant a lot to us. And one of the reasons that I coach and give back, I seen how you gave back to us. So just tip my hat to you, man, for sure.
Alrighty. Shout out to Coach Corbett. So let's go back into some of those Mount Royal days.
Okay.
It was some just like you said, the competition was tough. I remember some of it because I remember we had some battles down there. Y'all that got us sometimes we got y'all.
Right.
But however, I did notice that those guys was playing up early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, you was 8 playing with the 10s. I remember when I was, 10 and I was forced to play with the 12s, right? With the Mr. Jeffs and the Big Dirk and those teams. Those guys was a little bit older than me,
right.
But I had to get in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for your mindset, being a young fella on the older team?
Yeah, it just pushed me. Since being the youngest on the team, that just made me work even harder. Make me work harder to try to get in the game because, like I said, I'm trying to prove myself. And even though I'm younger, I felt as though I should still be on the court. Like how we said, definitely since I got that contract in my hand, so I was part of the team. So yeah, I was playing up, and then like I said, once I got older too, sometimes like you were saying, I would play up. I've been 13, playing 15 under sometimes and stuff like that. Just to keep competing, because sometimes at your age, sometimes some of them won't help you. So then somebody older definitely can help you and they push you because they're stronger and everything.
Right. Okay. I remember some of those teams and then some of those players that you played with, wound up playing with, down at Mount Royal, they went on to do some great things.
Correct.
Right? Like you said, some D1 players, some NBA players. So take me to one of the practices where we got a Keith Jennifer, we got UVA, we got a Darnell Hopkins,
right.
We got a Carmelo.
Yeah.
Take us through some of those times.
So those times was great. Cause like I tell you, being in Mount Royal, the gym but's so small. So it's so big, it's small. So you had to be creative and be able to play because you can't run. You can't hide in a gym like that. And with Coach Corby, not even want to let you hide. So like how you say, practice was tough and serious. Like, yeah, I'm up here lacing them up. next to having to stick my bro Keith Jennifer, but everybody know crossover and everything was mean since we was little. So it did nothing but help my defense and help better. And like with Donnell Hopkins and Mello and Kenny Mine and all them, they was an age under us, and they used to have to play against us, and then we'd be playing against Tony Day, Alfonso Jones, and all them.
Right.
So each age group helped each age group to get better. So it was just, man, it was a grind fest in there. Like I said, you had to lace them up because you're gonna get pushed to the side.
Right.
So,
Tony Day, Fonzo.
Fonzo
Forgive me, I don't know how I ain't say Kenny Miner.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of good battles, man. A lot of good times that I can remember. Playing against those guys, seeing them. Even us playing together at sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, man. Definitely, those was the days, man, for sure.
Great days.
For sure. Let's move a little bit into your high school career. When you first, when we was in the middle school together, 8th grade. We had a pretty good year at our 8th grade year.
Yeah, undefeated team.
Undefeated team.
Shout out, yeah.
Shout out to Coach Brody.
Coach Roddy.
Yeah.
Coach Roddy got us sponsored as an 8th grade team. We had the Jerry Stackhouses and the names on our warm up shirts. Shout out to Coach Rodell.
Yeah. Couldn't tell us nothing that year.
Not at all. Yeah,
so
at all.
We kind of, if I can remember, that year went so fast. It just was like we was playing, and then we was on our way to high school.
Correct.
So, I was little and retarded a little bit then, right? So, like I said, it went so fast that we just was playing, then all of a sudden we talking about, yo, where you going to high school at? Yo, where you going to high school? Where you going to high school? And I know we going to high school, but it was just like, damn, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Correct.
Right? So, when you got to the process of what high school I want to go to, take us through that process.
Yeah, so through that process, like I say, definitely with being on the travel team and that middle school team that me and you was talking about, the high school coaches they stayed at the games because some schools was wishing they were saying they could take the whole team with them, take all of them because that's how we all could play, and like I saying, on sharps on. So, but so the process it was cool. I didn't know really where I wanted to go at first because they say some will come to the practices and stuff like that, you know. So I didn't know, and so when I was ready to go, I had a few schools in mind that coaches had had hollered at me. So it was Emerson, Northwestern, Southern, and what is it? Southern was after the 9th grade year, but the 8th grade. Southern, Emerson, Northwestern, Carver, and another school. But it was it was like a toss up. Oh, and Douglas, shout out to Coach Cofield. He very first coach that say something to me when he used to referee. He was at the Lake Clifton game, and I'm taking the ball out, and he said, "Man, what high school you going to? Because I definitely got a jersey for you." You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Cole too. That's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy. But so I wound up going to Emerson. Emerson had one over. We was playing B&B all up there, and the site was up there, so they was just seeing me more and more and more. And then they was like, yeah, it'd be a good fit for me. And I went with Emerson.
Yeah, that was that. What was that? 13, 15 under?
Yeah.
We played up there?
Yeah, we played up there.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and handled our business that time.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, what was it like walking on, onto the campus at Emerson? We all had to go to that orientation, but that was what, in the summertime, maybe 30, 50 kids. What was it like day one going to school? You had your outfit together.
Right.
What was that like?
Well, it was definitely different for me because like me and you come from a school where we was wearing uniforms anyway, so so it was just a different experience. First time getting to wear regular clothes to school, and then just seeing all the people. So it was definitely a different experience. And then with Emerson being a trade school, Emerson, you can at one half of the day you be in one building. And the next half of the day, you get to walk across the street and go to the next building. And that was like not your typical high school. So it was just crazy seeing people can walk across the street. So since some people walk across the street and some people sneak across the village and go
keep walking,
and keep go to the bus stop and keep going, but it never looked strange because you really had to walk across the street. So it was just definitely different, and to get a feel of, and it was way more bigger and way more kids because at our school we probably had like 4 8th grade classes, 4 or 5 8th grade classes. That's about it. But then you just go on a bigger scale. So it was different.
Okay. If your high school experience was anything like mine, that 9th grade year we was all in the cafeteria talking about every day, but for the season, talking about who hooping, who playing, who's yo playing, hooping this year. Take us through that when you first got to the point where when you already know you're coming to play, but first practice, first trial. Take us through that.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I remember so they was since like I say I'm coming in, I'm a freshman, so I'm already like you say, we used to be in the cafeteria talking, you have waiting till the deadline gonna come down because you're hearing this and that, but only a few people you really know that can really play or whatever. But of course, in gym and cafeteria, everybody's talking and everybody's gonna play. So I was definitely waiting for that, and I was waiting for it because a lot of people was like, "Oh, well, you're not probably gonna get that much time," because it was a guy coming back as a 10th grader. So they were just like, "Well, that's gonna be his show, this and that. He's gonna be running the point guard because I'm a point guard." So I was just like, okay. So I just sat back, and I was like, all right. But I was like, well, even if I ain't starting, I know they ain't recruit me for nothing, to come up here. So it was just crazy just to see that process. And then once the process went on, the guy that they was all talking about, he stopped playing after 2-3 games because I started getting my bump and getting my shine. And I don't know if he did. I'm not saying he did it because of me, but what I was hearing about, he wound up stopped playing anyway. That was supposed to have been in my way. You know what I'm saying?
So the Lord opened up something for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir. The Lord working mysterious ways.
Yes.
So this guy was set out to be the man.
Yeah.
And then in time, just fell off to the wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Baltimore City, man. So how did the rest of that freshman season go?
So it went well. So because that's what I played. I played 1 year JV, and I told you I was doing good and getting to it. That most of the time in the 9th grade or when anybody get moved up to varsity, most of the time they play all of the games, and then at the end of the season they move up and play varsity. But I was doing me. So it was actually 3 games left, and then they called me up to go to varsity. But then when I was going to go to varsity, and then my JV coach came down, because I was already dressed up, because I didn't even know the school was already hearing, like, "Oh, dang, London, I heard you getting moved up to varsity." And I didn't know, because I didn't even get out of class early, because see, back then, when we was coming out, varsity played first. So, only you get out of school early if you playing varsity. Right. So I get out of school, because the coach must couldn't get to me. I get out of school regular time, and everybody telling me, hey, hurry up and go, play varsity. So I hurry up, run down, put my stuff on. Then my JV coach come and told him don't put me in the game because he wanted me to play still the last 3 games, because if I got in 1 minute, I wouldn't have been eligible no more. So didn't play that game because I remember it was against Sydney. Shout out to Coach Wade, because when I seen Coach Wade like the next summer or something like that, or the summer, he was like, "You that guy that was about to play and then you ain't played." He got a good memory. That's my guy. But yeah, so it was good. So I changed back up. I didn't get no time, so I played my rest of my 3 games. Then got moved up to varsity. And then was on varsity for 3 years.
Right. Okay. When you did get on varsity, how did that go? Was you still at the end of the bench? This is a nice little guy that we can help the team, or did you come in with? Did they have you on the team with plans of really playing you?
Yeah, well, I did. So definitely with that year it was just moving up. That freshman year definitely was just moving up, because we already my freshman year we had the leading scorer. Sometimes he was first and sometimes second in the whole Baltimore City. A guy by the name Virgil Singleton, him and Mark Harsher was leading the city. So definitely when I first got moved up, it was just moving up because I told you I was doing me on JV, so it wasn't helping me. And then my next year came up, I was just a sophomore, and we had a senior guard, so it was just bringing another guard in because a couple seniors had left.
Right.
So it was just it just wanted me to be the point.
Get to your spot with
Yeah.
it, a little earlier.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. We gonna slide past the sophomore year. Now you're a big boy, right? We going to the junior season. That's when I was inserted. I was getting into trouble with freshman, sophomore, so I came in my junior season. Let's go through your junior season.
Yeah. So my junior season, we didn't really have too many seniors too. So junior season we was one of the like younger team, 11th graders and 10th graders, really maybe one or two seniors. So we did all right. And then by the time then too, I wasn't really growing too much no more, so I was just trying to figure out the way. So I was the point guard. Then I started playing more defense and stuff too. So really, I would get a lot of defense assignments really, and just be the point, and it was being like one of the leaders because our two like 12th graders was kind of like big men, so they wasn't really vocal or nothing like that. So I was already starting to insert myself as trying to be one of the leaders on the court.
Okay. They had gave you the keys to the car.
Yeah.
And now it was time for you to lead everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your position, not more so your age and just your experience with playing and then being at the point, led you to become the leader maybe ahead of time.
Correct.
Okay. So now we go into the senior season. This is, of course, it's our last season, but we, sometimes we get to that senior season, we like, okay, it's a sense of urgency.
Correct.
Right. So at this point, have schools been reaching out? We all want to go D1, right? We all had that mindset. Have the schools been reaching out? Have they been sending the letters? Do you have to do a little bit more work going into the season? How was that?
Yeah, so I had to do a little bit more work because not really no letters, but the senior season coming in, back when we was coming up, it was only really like 5-star camp and maybe like one or maybe like just one AAU team really on the circuit like that. So it was Baltimore Select and them. So really didn't have too many offers because didn't really get on that team. See, that's what they don't know back then. It could be 200 people trying for 12 spots. It was only one team, and mostly with the Baltimore Select and them guys, they really had all guys from Catholic schools. It was only like 2 guys maybe from city schools, and as they hook up, it was probably like Melvin and Zeke or something. Everybody else was Keefe and them, Gil, everybody that's on the Catholic circuit.
Right.
So so that's why so you really didn't have too many looks. A couple community colleges and stuff, but nothing heavy. But it wasn't heavy because
the opportunities weren't as much as now.
Yeah, it wasn't there at all.
So we can think of 5 AAU teams in Baltimore right now.
Easy.
Clubs.
Yeah.
Big clubs.
Yes.
Then you can think of another 6 small ones.
Yeah.
But back then we only had probably 1.
Yeah, it was like
and
one.
And then with the city, we city kids, we not really considering going to the county.
Correct.
At all.
Correct.
Okay. Our senior year, how did everything go far as for the team, wins and losses, states?
Yeah. So the senior year was perfect. I actually went kind of like that I wanted to go to because reverse back to like how you say that freshman year. At the end of the season, I told you. So we that freshman year when I got moved up, I think we lost to Broadneck, this team out in Anne Arundel County. We went down there and we lost to them, but then I still followed the states and we went out the states and watched the Southwestern team that went undefeated. I watched them win the states and maybe Dunbar. And that was my freshman year, and I was like, yo, before I leave here, I want to at least make it out here, out Cole Fieldhouse, because we went out Cole Fieldhouse, because that's where the states was held at. Still held now, but it's just not called Cole Fieldhouse now no more. So So my senior year, we wound up having a good record. I can't remember. We ended up ended up ranked in the top 20 for sure. Definitely a lot of good wins and losses, and we wound up actually making it to Coalfield House. So I had got to the goal that I wanted to make, you know, because we won the regional championship. We beat Dunbar down Dunbar, and so and then we went out Coalfield House and then lost to this team Gwen Park, which they could go, and they had two guys. One guy, Sherrod Foyer, was like 6'9", 6'10", went to Clemson. He went to the league.
Yeah.
And then his cousin or something, Charles Ford, I think he went to like some type of JUCO and then a D1 and he could go. But like we ain't lose to like, you know, just
Right. I remember
BS
that.
team.
I remember those guys. I remember that
Gwen Park team. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, so at least made it, even though we didn't win, we made it though. It felt good playing on that Maryland floor.
Yes, sir. Okay. So we finished with high school, you know. After finishing, you know, I know we came in the same class. I know for me, after school, it was kind of like a scramble, right? So if you know, some of us that didn't go D1, some of us that didn't have these big offers, you know, now we were looking, you know, to go the next route because we definitely wanted to continue playing.
Correct.
So take us through that post high school.
Yep. So post high school, like I said, so not really no offers, but besides JUCO, so like you said, then scrambling on what you want to do. So the first thing I did, I went to Catonsville Community College. So I went to Catonsville, played maybe 2-3 games. Then I decided, I was like, I don't know, like I wanted to get some money, so I wanted to start working. And I worked, and then cause I was like, all right, I worked, but then I still had some love for the game. So I was like, nah, hold up, you know, I ain't tripping off work. Ain't like I was out on my own or anything. So then I got recruited to play for Howard Community College. So I still had that year at Catonsville. Because only 2-3 games that didn't even count because they was like scrimmage. They was really scrimmage games. So I didn't get, you know, all the way to play a real game. So then I went to Howard Community College. Went up there, played for a year. So I had 2 years. Played for a year, and then the coach that recruited me and recruited us. He got sick. So the coach got sick and couldn't return the next year. So then the next year, another coach was coming in. So when the other coach came in and he brought his guys, and then after that, I just fell back. Cause I ain't feel like the process again of trying to find something else.
Right. Okay. So moving on. Past that, when did you first start coaching?
So I first started coaching, it got to be at least about 22 years ago. So I would say like after I said no to that, and probably about a year later.
Right, so you still young London. You still Lower London a little bit.
Yeah,
you probably maybe 20, 21, 22, somewhere around there.
Yeah, about 22.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, take us through that experience. Where was that at? What were you doing? What school? What program?
Gotcha. So my very first coaching experience, I had got asked by the late coach Pete Pompey, my old coach from high school. You know, rest in peace. He asked me to coach BNBL. It was BNBL because it was an Emerson team. So back then they started doing Craig Cornwell and like BNBL when they bringing in like recruits and they first like maybe the 9th and 10th graders. So he had a team, and so he asked me to coach, coach them. And on that first team that I ever coached was like Daryl Clark, Butter, Rodney Sproul, because some people don't know he went to Emerson first before he went up to Brook. But Lil Steve and all of them, Norman, that was my first group of guys that Coach Pompey asked me to coach. So I coached them for just that, that BNBL season. And during that BNBL season, my alma mater, my school that I was talking about, shout out to Coach Corbett, that we played against Mount Royal. So then when we played against Mount Royal, Coach Corbett had asked me after the game. He's like, "Boy, you did a good job." He like, when you finish this, don't forget where home is. And he like, cause I got something for you, when you want to come down. So I said, okay. And so then after that, I just straight started coaching. Went back home down the rec and started coaching down Mount Royal. And it's been like history ever since.
Yeah. It's only right. In one word, Coach, describe your coaching style.
Aggressive. Definitely aggressive. I tell you, was in the gym aggressive. Coach was aggressive. Push-ups and all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I coach like how I was coached. So that's what I said. So sometimes kids, I make my kids do push-ups in the game and everything, and parents didn't mind it because they already seen it in practice and all that. So one unbeknownst to them, that that's what it is. So it's just aggressive, just aggressive.
Okay. Let me go back one half a step.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your time being under Coach Pompey.
So yeah, it was a great time. I only had him for my last 2 years because the first 2 years before then, he was just still mainly just coaching football and being the AD. But when he started being my coach in 11th grade and 12th grade, I just really soaked up some knowledge because I had already did my homework and knowing that he already won national championships with Dunbar, with Mike Lloyd and all those guys, so I knew he already knew, what it takes. So I always just tried to listen to whatever he said and gave because I knew he was a veteran in the game.
Right. Okay. What kind of coach was Coach Pompey?
He was funny, man. He'd get on you, and he's funny, but he holds you accountable. But he's definitely funny, and not even trying to be funny. But if you play for him, you'll know. Or it's the guys that play for him just know that coach funny. But he was I like that he really knew his stuff and tried to help us. And then it was just besides basketball too. Like he had us. We used to have SAT prep before practice and stuff like that. So he tried to do his part as far as getting us prepped for that. But like I said, unfortunately we didn't get to play them national games like the stuff that some of his kids that he did get to produce.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Is it a funny story that you can share about Coach Pompey? About one of them practices or a game where he got in somebody's butt?
Yeah, let me see. So like I say, like the big, and this one I like he ain't had no picks because it just was when he was, if he would come, like I told you my freshman year, even when he wasn't coaching, he'd be in there sometimes. And then I just remember him telling the guy Virgil that I told you that he ain't just big man in our school, he big man around the city because I told you him and Mark Harsher were leading scores at the time at 1 and 2, keep record, And he would he said came up with something and then Virgil said something and he said, now I don't want to hear none of that alibi shit. Look, this is what you did and you did it. Cut it. Take your ass over there and get some cake and hit up them steps. So mind you, I'm freshman. I'm like get some cake and the concession stand right over there. I'm thinking he really about to make him get some cake, and and I guess run up the steps or down the steps. But back then, the cakes was the bricks, but they was wrapped in red and white because that's was our color. So like a colorful cake. So it's wrapped in red and white. So he made him go get that, and then I told him put it on top of his head, and I was just laughing because I tell you how he be and how he used to point his finger. He was just funny, and he had his collar pop. His collar would be always pop, old school G. You know what I'm saying, old school G. He knew my father, man. Kind of find out. Oh, that's another funny thing. He like London. Look at your father. Dang. So y'all sure is different. Your father damn sure couldn't play no basketball. So, he was funny, man. Shout out to Coach.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach, man. Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace.
So when you started at Mount Royal, you know, I asked some of the coaches what's the foundation, but we already know what the foundation down at Mount Royal was with Coach Colbert. You know, discipline, you know, be on your assignment, you know, pretty much play together, right? Um, but each coach that has their own team, they got their own way of doing things, right? What would you say, you know, is the foundation of the team that you had? You still, you know, got a little group right now, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what's the foundation of, you know, your program, your culture of your team exactly?
You know, accountability, family. I let them say family because I be wanting them to be close. So, because you know, once they real close, then I feel as though that they'll play harder for each other and they looking at each other like brothers. You know, so I just try to keep that foundation, keep the grades up. So even if but most of my parents is already with the program anyway. But there've been times before that I even made a kid stop playing just because I didn't think that his grades was. And when a kid really love basketball like that, they won't shy away and will try to get it right just to stay on that court. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, like how you say, when we was coming up, even we wasn't acting too crazy because we wanted to make it to them games. So we ain't trying to be punished or nothing like that. So, you know, I just try to keep that, you know, make everybody accountable for themselves and just, you know, just hardcore.
Okay. What would you say? What or who would you say shaped your coaching philosophy?
I'd say Coach Core. Since I just played for him so long, and then I'm saying I played besides Coach Core, but I didn't play for some other good coaches too. Because the one good thing, not to toot my own horn, but when you could play for other teams when your team not doing nothing. So a lot of times in the summer times, I would either be playing down Rob C. Marshall, rest in peace, Mr. Wise, Coach Wise, and if not there, I'm up the rec playing up John E. Rest in peace, Mr. Jeff, and you know playing for Mr. Charlie and them. So you know all them coaches, I remember playing for all of them. So all of them gave me a little something that I just always could put together, even though I was under Corbett the longest. But I was fortunate to have, and Coach Pompey had the coaches that I had a good culture going on.
Okay. Yeah. Rest in peace to Mr. Jeff, man.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest misconception of coaching?
That is easy, and it's not, because like I say, definitely like for me, it's volunteer work. So all I want to is ask for the kids and the parents is to be dedicated and pull it in, because I'll be just like, you know, we definitely could be doing something else. So, you know, misconceptions think it's easy, and misconception that people think that we get paid for it, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, oh my God, you don't get paid for it. And I'm like, nah, I don't get paid at all. But I was like, it's not about the money. I told you, it's priceless. Like when I have kids come back and some of them text me and DM me and stuff and be like, Coach London, I'm forever thankful. Hopefully you still coaching when I have a kid and stuff like that, you know. So it really, you know, that really just, you know, it makes me smile, be like, you know, that it's, you know, it's all worth it. But the misconception definitely is like that we getting paid and this and that. When it's straight volunteer work, it's all from the heart. Any coach that be coaching, you know, it's always from the heart. So you know, just be like, just respect the coach.
So take it easy on them parents. What's something that you learned from your playing days that you still use today?
Yeah, just being assertive and like, you know, trying to go hard at what you're doing. Cause like one of my mottos that I had to tell the kids, hard work pays off. So I just knew, that's what I'm saying, with me working hard. As far as just like I said, JV, when sometimes everybody was getting moved up at the end, they was willing to let me play three games ahead of time because, you know, just putting in the work.
Okay. What makes a player coachable for Coach London?
He's listening. If he's a good listener and not making too many complaints and just, you know, taking should trust that, you know, trust that I know what I'm doing because I'm, since I'm here, and like I said, and I got a lot of years and been playing since I was 8 and tried out at 7. So, just like, 40 plus now. So, just like I've been around the game, eat and sleep the game, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, as long as he's listening, because, I won't stand him wrong.
Okay. That takes me to my next question of how do you earn the trust of the players?
I think you earn it when they see, when they, it's different ways. It's different ways, but some of them, I think you earn it when they see. Cause sometimes I might get out there, run with them, or it's just certain ways. I don't know exact how each kid, but usually just like, sometimes they might ask around, and like I say, because a lot of these kids, they already get the recommendation already saying like, oh yeah, Coach London been coaching, or this is and that. So then sometimes they trust that, and then when they just see a certain situation, if I tell them this, then it happen like, oh man, I should have listened to you, Coach. They're like, okay, so look, Coach really do know what he's talking about, because we're in an era that, with YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. Like sometimes they're going to think they already know what it is. So it takes some time, but eventually they get it, and then they get on board and run with the process.
Okay. If you could share this could be something personal. I don't, know how deep you can go with it, but if you could define some of your wins and losses, outside of playing.
Outside of playing. So I think definitely my wins is, just still healthy, having a good family, having kids, you know what I'm saying? Being able, like I say, to still be coaching this long, and still not consider it like I don't know what I'm doing. So just still having that good mindset and still having a good heart. I didn't change or let no job or anything change me. So just glad to still be sticking to myself, and then change on anything. And then losses, we all had losses, but like I ain't really had no major ones besides like family, family. Like I remember when I lost my grandmother, that hit me. But other than that, just I think I couldn't ask for a better path. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool.
Yes, sir. Blessed. What would you consider heart of a champion?
Heart of a champion would be just I told you somebody that's willing to get it done, no matter what. And give it 100%. As long as you leave it all out on the floor, that's a heart of a champion. Even if you lost the championship that time, but you still, if you put everything out there and you left everything on the floor, to me that's the heart of a champion.
I would say you have it. I would say I have it. But when you hear the word, or when you hear the phrase Baltimore grit, explain that. How would you explain that to a person that's not from here?
Yeah, it's just it's different, and like I said, how we all kind of came up the same way. So we was all trying to get it out the mud. So it's just like I said, some single parent families, some had fathers. It didn't even really matter that, but just being in Baltimore, it's just different. Like I said, they don't know. I'm running across the street around Baines. We still in a crate to knock the crate out, and so that can be the basketball goal, so the ball could go through the hoop. So it's just like we our grit is different because we ain't had so. As we say, we making stuff out of nothing with the crates and everything.
Okay, good answer. You gave us one, but what's one of your go-to sayings? So when you in the huddle, let's say you down or you up, whichever one is best for you. But what's one of your go-to sayings that Coach London, all the players know Coach London for?
Or some of my older ones, because like I say, I've been teams on the do levels from 8 to older, but one of the sayings that they were used to laugh at, I would say, is put them in the room. So that meaning, like if when I got the older teams, if they could dunk, what I'm saying, dunk, or put your shoulder in them, lean into them, and one, put them in there, put them all the way in the room. So they would laugh because if I see them going to size up, I'm like, put them in the room, and they know, don't bluff, like go up there and not dunk on them, just lay them up, lay them up, don't shy away because we ain't running from contact, So it'd be like, put them in the room.
Okay, put them in the rim. Coach London. Tell us about, all of the many games that you had, all of the many teams, the lower teams, the older teams. You first started off with a high school squad. Tell us that one game that you wish you could have back.
One game, yeah, okay. It's one game when I took my squad. We went out down to ATL. We went down to Atlanta, and so it's a lot of kids first because it was like 12 and under. So a lot of kids first time on a plane and everything. So we used to be more elite at the time because when we was on the circuit, we used to be more elite back then. And we was out there. We played a team. Beat like some team from South Carolina, beat a team from somewhere else, and then it was like a game before the championship, and we lost by like 2 points, and it really hurt because what I'm saying, we got on the plane for this and everything, and we was just there, so that was like that really stuck out to me one time because we was all the way down Atlanta and. Just chaos going on, and it was just like that would have made it right, but we had lost to this team, maybe another team in South Carolina. I think they had like 2 teams down there, and that was one I wish I could get back, that one, and then AU states one time down Boo Williams, down James. So it was like 2 games that really sticks out to me that, it was like.
What's that second one like? What happened in that game?
Yeah, so in that second one, it was a hurt one because we lost, it's down Boo Williams, and I think my player, my best player had got fouled out. And then we were still working and still going because it's probably like 2 minutes left, and then so my player actually got fouled out trying to take a charge, so that hurt one time because
Mm-hmm.
at a young age a lot of kids ain't taking charges anyway. So I'm like, and it might have been the right call, might not. I don't know what to say, but I was just like the ref could have and it made him foul out. So that was that. But it was just we lost. I think we was down 2, and we had 2 free throws to take, and my player made 1 and didn't make the other one, and we lost by 1. But that was so we wound up ending up 4th place in the nation. But we could have went to the next game and even been the first or 2 because it was in the Final 4. But we wound up ending up 4th place in the nation. But I was just that close.
Right.
But I did win 1 national out Myrtle Beach too, so that was a great win. But the other losses definitely hurt.
Yeah, man, we all got that one, but I mean, that makes us even better sometimes. How has coaching changed your life, or changed you as a person? How has coaching changed you as a person?
It changed because, like I say, it's like a lot of kids look up to me. So like I try to make sure I always gave them something to look at. So that's what I said, totally like for structure, and tell them even if the parents didn't, hey, let me see your report card and all that stuff. So it just just helped me stay the person who I was because I had to have good grades when I was coming up anyway, and And like on the middle school team, when we was on there, if we ain't have a certain grade, we failed off. If your mother or anybody didn't want to do nothing anyway, so I just it just helped me stay who I was and you know give back.
Okay. So we heard about the loss. Let me hear about your most important or your biggest comeback.
Yeah, biggest comeback. I want to say we were. I can say Nationals. Yeah, Nationals. Down Boo Williams at the time. We playing New World, a team from PG. Actually, it's on YouTube too. I just can't remember the year. But we was down. I think probably 12 or 14 at half. And mind you, this Nationals, so now it's not you out of pool play. So you know it's you lose, you done. And so, everybody's counting us out in the crowd, talking crazy, And we came back from like 14 and a half and go win by like 7. So that was like a real big win for me and the kids, because some of them was looking down and looking defeated. I'm trying to motivate them like, yo, the game ain't over. But it was definitely about 14, 15 and a half, and walk them down, and we won by 7. But as Nationals, D2 Nationals, Boo Williams.
So that was for your first national?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was a hell of a comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get the national. That's what I'm talking about. What would you say is your proudest moment as a coach? Seeing the kids graduate from high school, and they sending me, and I done got some invites sometimes, and so that, and like I told you, seeing the kid right now that's like playing in the NBA that I know used to play for me, so it's just that'd be proud, and just knowing like some kids that played all levels, and they was the man on their teams, and I'd be like, damn, I remember he played for me, so it'd be a couple moments. Okay. So there's a lot of kids that come out of Baltimore nowadays, way more than when we was younger. So
right.
This NBA kid, what's his name?
Lil Bud.
Yes, sir. Sir. I thought that you was going in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got pissed on when he little playing on the team. Rest in peace to his father, Big Bud. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Rest in peace, Big Bud. What does it do when you see Bud playing now? How does it make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me feel good, because that's what I say. It's like, so I know when these kids was, when they were little, and they just running around with a little Mount Royal Be More Elite jersey on, and then to see him, and then grow this tall, the 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" and stuff. It'd be just like, wow, and it just make you proud, because like I know how to seen the work that they put in. And definitely, Lil Bud, he be going to the shooting range with his father at 5, 6 in the morning, and then they come get my son Lil London, and then now they go lifting weights and breaking chains, and then working out again. So like, surely I can really say like he put that work in. It wasn't, he really put it in, and I see that it paid off, because he really worked for it. He was getting up, going to Madonna, shooting, and go live, all that, so
yes,
sir. Very proud.
Shout out to Bud.
Yep.
Coach, what was a turning point season for you?
Turning point season for me was I could say maybe a few years ago, when we was like playing winter ball, and we got off to a rocky start. We lost like our first three games, 2 close, and one we kind of lost, like good loss, probably about 14, 15. You coach, so you know how some games get away from you. And I just remember, I think it was maybe like a 12 and under. I think I had 12 and under at the time, and and hearing chit chat, or maybe if people want to switch teams, thinking you already got some kids, some
That's
parents
how it
and
be.
kids who want to jump board,
That's how it be.
jump ship if you're not winning right away, and so I remember I was glad that that after those 3 straight losses, because it was a 10-game regular season, and just we got in the gym, kept working, and we actually turned around and won the next seven straight to end the regular season. So that was like a turning point season for me, because to go down 0-3 and hearing the chit chat about just in case some people wanted to jump ship, but then we just kept knocking it off and start winning.
Okay. What did you learn from that process?
Yeah, that that some parents definitely all about winning. Sometimes they don't care if they think the kid is learning or getting better or not. That some of them will quick to turn on you. Because me coaching over years, it's of course every coach can say this. Sometimes you're going to lose. You're going to lose some players, and every parent not agree with how you coach and what you do. So that comes with the territory. But it just showed me it was a quick turnaround just from the first 3 games. You already had someone wanted to leave.
Okay. Well, shit, in real life though, 3 games, shit,
Yeah.
we might leave.
Right. You ain't lying.
Take us. I know that the population that you work with is mainly probably 99% Baltimore kids. How do you deal with those kids when they have some of those real tough personal issues?
And so trying to understand them, I'm saying where they're coming from, because everybody's circumstances are different. So so those ones I would try to work with them. Like I can remember before, we going away to like Boo Williams or New Jersey, and help out, and help pay for a room to share in the room, because some people just don't have it. So I just try to be understandable and work with them, because just everybody not granted the same deal.
Right. Okay. Coach, take me through. You mean you can mention names, or you can't. You don't have to if you don't want to. But take me through your experience with the toughest player you ever coached.
Toughest player I ever coached.
Toughest player. The player that challenged you the most, challenged everything. Your patience, how quick your hands is, your strength level, your DDT level.
Mm-hmm.
Take me through that, Coach.
Okay. It's a kid. Kid Mike. Rest in peace, Mike. He wound up getting killed. But I remember he used to test. He test me sometimes, and he could play, but he was just. He just would do his own thing sometimes, and I'd be like, "Boy, what you doing?" Or tell him do something, and he's doing something else. So yeah, kid Mike, he still was a good kid though, but he just definitely. And I remember he definitely used to test me sometimes. Kid Mike, and I was like, I think when I was coaching them, it's probably about around 14, when I was doing like 14 and under.
Okay, how did you just navigate that with your personality, and or whatever else you needed to do?
Yeah, I just started pull them to the side or at the practice and talk to them, like, to figure out where the aggression, or why sometimes he want to be rebellious, off with when I'm saying something. And so he would like you say, me being me, talk to him, get level headed with him, see what's on his mind, learned him a little bit more, and then then we had got better. Then it wasn't so much clashing going on. Once he really seen that I cared, and was like, yo, what's going on with you, and talking to him like a human being, just not just lashing out sometimes, besides when we clashed, and it was, we wind up, getting it right.
Rest in peace of Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
So right now we're going to move into the segment, I Would Do Anything. Okay, so this segment is when we, speak to our rival. This is the rival team. This is the group of parents that's always cussing you out. This that team you can't stand that nigga on that side. Man, I would do anything. So the whole segment goes, I would do anything to beat these SOBs. So you're going to point to this camera and you're going to tell us who those SOBs are.
Whoever won the beat.
Right. I would do anything to beat these SOBs.
Right. Okay. Well, definitely. When I was mellow, our rivalry team Thrill. That's that's our little beef. It's just it's all love, but definitely Thrill. Back middle school ball, not our 8th grade year, but our 7th grade year, Chickapin. They beat us the game before the championship. That's why we had to come back the next year and go undefeated and beat everybody. But Chickapin. Who else? Then maybe Bentlow, because we used to beef with Bentlow back in the day.
Okay, we've been David and them.
Yeah, Bentlow. Yeah, they was tough, so they always knew. I mean, all the squads, but I just definitely knew when we played them too, you gotta lace them up. You had to lace them up against, when I wasn't playing for John E. or Mount or Robert C. anyway. So it's just a couple of them, but that's what I just said. Our era was just so good because we had a lot of programs that you really had to lace them up for.
Okay, so you could pick all of them or you could pick one of them, but you gotta let the people know. You're gonna point to the camera and tell them, I would do anything to beat.
I'm saying as a coach or when I was playing. That's what I'm trying to
remember. It don't even matter. Either one. Which one has got the most impact? Was it the Thrill? Was it the Bentlow? Or
no, you know what? Dunbar. Because coming up, and definitely if you come to Emerson and all that, you don't supposed to beat Dunbar because they're the powerhouse for years. So that's why I was happy when we got them in the 12th grade year because the 3 years before they beat me. So I finally got them. But yeah, Dunbar, Emerson Dunbar rivalry.
So I'm gonna do anything to beat Dunbar.
Yes, Dunbar.
Go ahead, let them know.
Sure. Do anything to beat Dunbar.
Oh man. All right. Get you up out of here real shortly, shorty. So we got 20 plus years in. What's next for Coach London? Where would you want to see yourself in the next 5 years?
It's just still coaching youth basketball because I thought about the high school and actually had an offer over the years, probably three offers over the years, but unfortunately how my work set up that I don't really have a certain time that I get off, so I can't never really go to no other level. So just still giving back to the youth, coaching youth basketball, helping the kids, because still got the basketball mind, so I definitely don't want to hold it in and share it with our youth.
Right. Okay. When it's all said and done, once you hang up your whistle, what would you want your legacy to be?
As a great coach that cared about the kids and gave back for years, and just was happy to be in a position to give back. So just know that a kid for the youth and the kids.
Alrighty. All right, Shorty, give me 2 minutes and I'm gonna get you up out of here. Shorty.
What's that?
On behalf of the Crew Channel
Man.
and the Coach's Corner, I'd like to present you with your flowers and a golden whistle, my guy.
Appreciate you. Already. Already.
Coach London, man.
All right.
We go and get a good picture with you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Use it with your whistle for sure.
Coach London.
Yes, sir.
Already.